Welcome to part 5 of the Ohio Traction Project. Just a brief update on some of my progress and a little bit of bonus uh, images of some actual traction related prototype information towards the end. And just as a reminder, this is the overall plan that I had designed, probably modified some, but just a simple 5-foot by 30-inch module. Just a view of the module from this angle with track placed on there, and I also had added the wiring as of my last post. So my biggest progress, besides tweaking the track, trying to fine tune it to get it working a little bit better, at least as I move the car around manually, is to add girder rail in these green shaded areas, because this is where there will be street running. So in addition to the OR switches, which already have girder rail, these code 100 sections had to be set up for girder rail. Now in the upper left, there's a red section. I did not include girder rail there, even though my original design was going to have street running. I've decided to let that be just regular trackage. Really, a lot of Ohio interurbans, had a lot of rural elements to it, and the way I had this module, it was almost completely an urban scene. So that'll give me a little bit of at least non-street trackage flavor. So I will be leaving that with just regular rail. So maybe while I should have bought ready-made girder rail, I decided to just create my own by taking some code 83 rail from some other track I had, turning on the side and soldering it sideways on the inside of my code 100 track, as you can see in this image. And here's a little closer up view of one of the sections being soldered. Clamping it on the side with my pliers and holding it. It's a tedious process. It requires some rework. Not the easiest thing to do, but it was a good experience. Here I'm just running the sander to kind of clean the track up, get things level. So in addition to sanding, I also have been doing some filing, and I don't have any images of it, but I also use my Dremel tool with the cutting wheel to go through, and I had to really kind of deepen these gaps, this girder rail. Sometimes solder would fill too much to the top, or even if the solder was clean and laid down in there, I still may have needed to cut some more gaps in there. And honestly, I'm not sure if I cut the gaps deep enough anyway. It seems like it might be a little bit rough riding when I move it over there, but hey, this is my first traction project. It's not going to be necessarily really pretty or fine scale, but again, a learning experience, and this is one way to make girder rail. So some closer up images of a couple sections of girder rail. Sure, as you look at that carefully, it's not the cleanest, neatest job, but it does look like girder rail, and we'll see how it does over time. Now, one of my next steps will be getting some hydrocal plaster and pouring that obviously within the tracks, within the girder rail and outside, and then carving some bricks. I understand that's a tedious process, but that nonetheless is in the works for the future. Now for just a little bonus footage for you traction enthusiasts out there, these are a couple images of what's left of the Kingston, Ohio station that my father took within the past 6 to 12 months. I don't know my history for the Scioto Valley real well, but I believe from Columbus they had 2 branches, one from Columbus to Chillicothe and one from Columbus to Lancaster. And I believe the route to Chillicothe stopped at the Kingston station. Really, for Interurban that I think only was around for 2.5, 3 decades, there's quite a bit left in Ohio. There's this station. There's the station at Canal Winchester, which I shared in my last post on the project. And there's another station in Asheville, Ohio, which I'll show in a future posting. And a couple other images of the Kingston station. I'm not sure exactly what business is going on here. Obviously, there's a grain storage facility next to it. I don't know if it's connected to this business or not. I do see on the left-hand side here, looks like a grain wagon. So could be all part of a granary now. But again, amazing that this structure is around. Looks like in relatively good shape for something that probably was used almost 100 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I know my progress is painstakingly slow, but I hope to post something in the future and keep you updated. Have a great day.